Welcome back. Optic Gaming, it's the 3-0 over H2K. I was going to say O2K, like oxygen with a K, like
I don't know where
potassium.
you're going with that,
Oxygen, potassium. But 6 series between those two. Final match of the night is going to be TSM.
Doesn't even make any sense what you just said.
TSM going up against Team
TSM versus
Kaliber.
Team Kaliber. So right before you went on air, you had actually told me a very interesting stat. You have never casted a TK win in the CWL Pro Division.
I think that's a fact. I do believe that is true. I try my hardest. All the fans want to kill me, but today's the day. They're going to do it. But let's first talk a little bit about TSM. You know, this roster has made at least some changes recently. They've had Proofy taking a seat kind of on the bench. Ivy's been coming in and playing some matches for these guys. You know, maybe similar to what we see with Envy. These guys have to play in 6 CWO matches to play in the Stage 1 finals.
I was just going to say that it seems to be kind of the same situation where they're going to get Ivy his 6 matches, so he's eligible for playoffs, and then make the decision where they want to go to playoffs with Proofy or they want to go to playoffs with Ivy.
Well, let's talk about that player on the far right, Wheats. With Ivy filling in, he's transitioned to more of the primary AR instead of objective, at least in the past week or so. He's been doing a great job.
I think he's been light years better than what he was. He was like inconsistent. He was still putting together good games, but like now it seems like every game Wheats is coming up big.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's been doing a really solid job. Now, let's talk a little bit about Team Kaliber. They had a crazy back and forth series yesterday against FaZe. Man, one of the best CTF games I've ever casted. The S&D was crazy. A lot of wild stuff going on with that matchup, but they need a one-on-one week at least. They need it.
And who's the key player for you? I mean, you casted their match against FaZe yesterday. Who stood out?
I'm looking at Theory. I need Theory to have a big game. Goonjar's been kind of their one consistent player, at least in the slaying department.
All season long.
Theory, they need to go big in S&D. They need him in the respawns as well. He needs to have just a good all-around performance. I just think from top to bottom, really, for these guys, I'm looking at Theory to be a big role in this one.
You kind of look like, him, Neslo, Sharp, like which one of those guys is going to step up, like get there with Goon? And Theory in the past has been that player. Just hasn't been, his game up until this point. Been really inconsistent. And then obviously it shows, they haven't gotten that second player with Goonjar rolling and respawns. And they've really struggled. And you see Rapid Fire Afterburner. First 2 things off the board here.
One thing to mention, though, they did look really good in the FaZe series. They played them very tough, and it looked like a better TK team.
Well, how did Neslo and Sharp play? That's what I'm more interested in.
Sharp had some monster games. Neslo did, too. Really, they played well all around. I just don't think they're as good of a team as FaZe. That's kind of what it came down to. And they were banning the Man of War against FaZe every single game. I'm not shocked to see it done here at all.
Yeah, Wheat's very good with the Man of War, so you want to get that out of the game. Obviously, we just saw what happened on this one, and Wheats gets rid of stock. So now it's going to be pretty much M8s, no stock. Obviously, SMGs on evac, pretty important. Now those are not going to have stock. We've seen players go towards stock VMP.
Yeah.
What else could possibly go? You figure flashbangs,
probably concussion then, too.
Last thing to go.
But this match, TSM got a much-needed win yesterday against H2K.
So concussions stay in.
Okay, interesting. Well, who do you think that benefits?
I don't think it really benefits either team. I think if you're TSM, though, you just want to get it out of the game, right? You don't want to be zoned out by the Purifier as you're trying to break into the second hill or the 4th hard point. You're going to see Heatwave come off the board for both teams. Camo come off the board for both sides as well. You expect Goonjar and Wheats, the 2 players, to be running those weapons, run the site. Those are going to be your AR players who are going to put up lots of numbers in the kill department. And the 2 guys are going to go with active camos. So a straight mirror matchup across the board.
Okay, well, players now going to start editing their classes and score streaks before we get locked and loaded into Game 1. Now, again, both of these teams right on that bubble regarding relegation are making it to the Stage 1 finals. This matchup is huge. TSM gets a big win against H2K yesterday. Yeah. TK has a devastating loss to FaZe yesterday. So, if you're TSM, you don't need to win as much as TK here. Does that hunger for TK, is that the difference in this series? I think it might be.
I think TSM's pretty hungry as well. I mean, you
DT just lost, by the way, too, so that's big for both of these guys.
DT is basically out. So I was actually just going to do this in my head. So DT goes 0-2 this week, right?
So what are you juggling all the marbles around
LG goes 2-0, so that's a great week for LG.
All right.
TSM at this moment in time is 1-0. TK is 0-1. And then H2K, that was your only other bubble team. Well, them and CLG. CLG goes 0-2, right? They lose yesterday. No, they beat
CLG won yesterday.
So CLG goes 1-1. And H2K goes 0-2. TSM and LG. You looked, LG was like the biggest threat to get into that. Like,
7-8 spot.
That's just that LG is actually the last team in the world that TSM wanted to go 2-0. So
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
actually TSM going 2-0 here is kind of big because,
Right, they
because
need
of
it.
LG.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we thought that LG would actually take over TSM, their spot. Could actually end up being LG almost taking over H2K, because H2K throws together an 0-2 week.
LG, TSM, and H2K should be kind of jumbled together after this week, depending on the result of this matchup. Well, actually, regardless of the result of this matchup, they should be kind of bunched together.
Obviously, you can't say anyone's out of it yet, but I got to figure DT with an 0-2 week, that's got to put them almost out.
Yeah, you never want to count out, because if they win all 4 of their final matches, maybe they get in, but
they would get to what, 8 wins, I believe.
They don't control their own destiny at all.
No.
You've gotten to a point where even if you win out, you're not necessarily in, and that's like the last position anyone wants to be in. If you're LG, if you're H2K, and if you're TSM right now, well, actually, no. The only 2 controlling their own destiny are probably TSM and H2K right now. If they win out,
if you are LG, you want a TK win in the worst way here. TK has a pretty strong schedule from here on out. Doesn't hurt you. It's a team that's behind you, and it just knocks TSM down, and it knocks H2K down.
Well,
it just gives you a better chance.
When we get a chance, if I remember between maps, I want to take a look at the standings real quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully they got them updated with the DT loss, and we can kind of get an idea. It's so hard for me to visualize it sometimes when you talk about who went 0-2, who went 2-0. I want to see the actual standings, so we can chat about it a little bit more. But let's kick things off. Hardpoint, evac, game 1, our final best of 5 of week 9, day 2 here in the Call of Duty World League, presented by PlayStation 4. We are so close to our stage 1 finals. It is just a cluster of smoke, bombs, and bullets here as people break in, and that is going to go the way of TSM as they start to get control early. Theory tries to answer back, but is getting shut down. The newcomer, Ivy, kicking things off 2-0.
A great start for him. He actually had a really strong game yesterday when I casted them, and excited to see him kind of, I don't want to say like get on track, but the first game I casted it, he did not look very good. Now starting to really come into his own in the pro division. I don't even know what you would call it. Is it filling in, trying out?
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
I'm not sure exactly.
It's like I saw people on Reddit, they were like, why do Maven and Mr. X keep saying Havoc is like trying out? And it's like, well, because
you don't know how to word it. I mean,
yeah.
To clarify, basically we talked about it a little bit earlier, but just to break it down a little bit more, if you want to play in the stage 1 finals, if let's say, Inks breaks both of his arms and isn't able to participate, if they want to have a sub come play at stage 1 finals, they have to play in 6 matches in the World League.
Or, I mean, Envy can just like make a decision which out of the 5 players goes.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
true.
right? I mean, they can send any 4 players.
Very, very true. So, well, who knows? Things might shake up a little bit before we get to stage 1, but as of now, players just trying to get in their 6 required matches here for their teams. We'll see if any substitutes might end up being a big difference down the stretch.
I got to think this one, though, this is a little bit different because TSM's fighting for a playoff spot. You wouldn't be using some guy on a trial.
Well, and the big thing to take a look at,
hunt.
who did Envy use in the 25K?
Yeah.
Who did TSM use in the 25K?
Yeah, no, very good point. Very good point.
That tells you a lot, I think.
Yeah, you're going to see Ivy. Oh, we've never seen anyone punch each other. Yeah, no, we've never seen anyone punch anyone down here in the CWL. We almost got close to it there. You see Wheats up top. He's able to pick up Theory below him, trying to get into the rotation for the next hill. It's going to be in control, Team Kaliber early, but they find themselves down. A really nice start out of Colchan, and I feel like it's been, I don't want to say it's a while since we've really seen Colchan go off, but I feel like I spoke to this about...
nice job.
I spoke to it about Jack yesterday. I feel like, as TSM has struggled, like the hype around Colchan has kind of gone down.
Yeah, well, I think it was just he was kind of like that refreshing surprise, in the World League, just kind of a newer player to it. And, when I've casted him a lot, I know at least early in stage 1, he was putting up just
huge
massive numbers.
Yeah.
In S&D, he was such a difference maker with a sniper rifle. I know for me, at least with regards to hype, this is the first TSM match I've actually casted in a couple weeks, I think. I just feel like I haven't been able to watch him play as much. But, speaking of him, why don't we switch over to Colchan, because he's got more kills than everyone in the lobby.
Yeah. No, that's why I kind of mentioned it, because, recently, it hasn't been the case. I know Wheats has done a really nice job with the assault rifle. He's been putting up big numbers, and it's going to be TK holding down that hill, though, able to make a comeback, take the lead. Going to go over to the 4th hard point. It's Wheats and Colchan pick up a kill apiece. See Ivy in the kill feed as well. TSM trying to climb back into this one. It's an odd game at the beginning. I feel like nobody is really obviously gotten much done in terms of score, but we haven't really seen anything too crazy in the kills department as well. Like nobody working on streaks, like no abilities come into play. It's just been a very slow hard point. Is that a way to kind of go about?
Yeah, no,
kind of describe it, I guess.
I agree with you. It seems to be a little bit slow, but it's honestly, yeah, there haven't been any big runs, big streaks. I think the biggest I've seen is a player get to like a 2 or 3 streak, no one really going off, just trying to keep an eye on what player gets hot, because a lot of times, I mean, games come down to a couple of players having these big streaks where they have these huge individual performances. They get streaks, they lock down one side of a hard point really efficiently, but we just haven't had anything too crazy yet. Just well-rounded efforts from most of the teams outside of Kilchan. Kilchan, how do you like that? That was not on purpose, but Kolchan, 17 and 10. I'm calling him Kilchan for now on. I like it. It's got a ring to it.
There you go.
I'm sticking with it. I'm not gonna.
No, he's gonna come down the side stairs. Goer try and challenge his first hard point, and he's gonna get gunned by Neslo. And you see Ivy pushing into the hill, not able to connect with any of those shots. Goon able to take out 2 from that corner position. Now Goon on a 4 streak. Switch over to the VMP for this first hill, just picking one up, doing a nice job with it, and helping TK get the lead back. But they're gonna give up the next hill, it looks like, as you see all of the kills coming in for TSM, and they control the spawns.
Those shots
not
shaky.
Good for Team Kaliber. They're going to go challenge this, and I think you kind of give this up and go for the spawns for the next hill. I don't think there's a reason to challenge this.
Goon was pretty darn close to getting streaks, too. He's a 175, I think, off his lightning, and that gunfight there at Steps is one he probably should have won. So again, no one able to make an impact with regards to streak yet. You've got weapons and abilities up. Pac-Man, first man in to get set up, but Neslo's going to break that. He might find a second, too. Nice shots from Neslo, and this is the aggressive submachine gun player you need him to be. He is streaky, he is passionate, and when he is playing well, he helps his TK team in so many ways. But look at his screen right now. There are so many players. I know we can see it because of X-Ray, but everyone about to push, and he's dealing with it all. 100 off of his Cerberus, but he gets a couple of streaks. I'm actually going to go back to Neslo. I'm going to watch him for a bit. I take it back. Goonjar's on a 4 streak, so they might pick up streaks for a couple of players. He dies again right off of streaks.
I tell you what, Neslo, remember how we just kind of described miracles in the last series? I feel like Neslo's the same type of player. Like when Neslo has a big game 1, you know you're going to get a pretty consistent effort from him throughout the entire series. It's when he kind of struggles and gets in his own head, that's when you're going to see Neslo struggle.
Well, Kilchan on a 2 streak here, able to pick up a couple. You see the Scythe coming in for Wheats as he's going to try and break it. Scythe on Scythe. Wheats won that one against Goonjar, but gets taken out immediately with a HC car. TK going to be set up here first. Theory's going to have to deal with some pressure, not able to do it. Now the break is on. TSN coming in. Ivy thought he might take the low way around, but he's going to challenge here, and Sharp's able to win it. So you had control for a second, but you lost 3 players almost immediately. TK breaks quickly. Kolchan's movement looks like Clayster, and all of a sudden TK set up nicely.
And it's going to be TSM attacking from glass side. Going to need a big break here. He can't afford to give up all the time to TK yet again on this hill, and it's going to be 2 kills in favor of Team Kaliber. Weed's going to answer back with a kill of his own, but nobody near the hill for TSM. It's actually going to be Weeds and Kolchan trying to come around the back, and it's actually going to be TSM able to break the hill, but look at this Goonjar somehow still alive back here.
Might be able to line up too perfectly.
That's some of the worst shooting we've seen.
And that he did the same thing on Steps when he was working towards, it's like, does he not have grip? I bet you he doesn't have grip.
He has grip. It says it right there at the bottom of the screen.
Well, I just checked it, but
totally missed those shots.
But remember when he was close to streaks on Steps, he was really wild. Now,
that's not grip. He just wasn't on them.
It's like the thing about the Vesper and the VMP, it shoots so fast. If you connect that first bullet, it's very steady. If you miss it, it's a little bit jumpy, but he just didn't control it at all.
Now we've seen Goon running a sub as well.
Now he's zapping on people, but yeah, a couple of unfortunate engagements for Goonjar, but luckily for them, their team right now is a 60-point advantage. There he's able to hop on one, not able to take out the second. And remember, yesterday, Matt, this TK team shocked FaZe in hardpoint as well. So you got to think if TK can take out the likes of FaZe in a hardpoint, they can certainly get it done against TSM. And right now, that is the case. Sharp's Heat Wave. Connecting with nothing but a pillar. I screwed up like half of my words in those 2 sentences.
I don't know.
It's the last match, dude.
I don't know what's wrong
Once the last match comes in, my brain's pudding.
Anyway, it's going to be TSM able to hold the remaining time on this hill. And they're set up for mid, but I feel like TSM's been set up for a few of these hills. They've gotten some gunfights in their favor, and then TK able to break it with